July 2021, Colour Palette 9, Animals. Back in 2018, I started my own art challenge that was focused on using limited colour palettes. I named the challenge Huely because it takes place during the month of July and it's all about hues, another word for colour. The aim is to use a maximum of 5 colours plus black and white if needed. 11 colour palettes were created for July 2021, each used for 3 consecutive days. For this bright colour palette, I wanted to focus on animals with recognisable markings, because I thought the colours would work really well with that. And when I created this colour palette, I did make sure that there was enough contrast between the darker colours, the magenta, blue and the purple. But I also wanted to make sure that these colours were bright and fun. When thinking of animals with recognisable markings, the tiger is often at the top of my list, which is exactly why this is the first animal I painted. For some reason, we often believe that all cats dislike water, but tigers actually love it. They can often be found taking a swim or even just sitting part submerged in a pool of water. Many years ago, I tried a limited colour palette that mostly consisted of teals and pinks, and I painted a bathing tiger kind of like this one. However, that turned into a very neon pink tiger that didn't look right. So when I created this colour palette and came up with a theme, I jumped at the chance to paint another submerged tiger to try to make up for that image I painted so long ago. And I think it worked out really well in the end, and I'm quite pleased with how this painting turned out. The theme for this giraffe image is based on something that actually happens in real life. There's a place in Kenya called Giraffe Manor, where giraffes tend to visit the manor house in the mornings and evenings. They will poke their heads through the large open windows in hope for a treat, before they wander off into their forest sanctuary. What I loved about this colour palette is how the pink and purple instinctively work really well for shadows. The magenta is a perfect shadow for the yellow areas, and the purple works really well as a shadow for the blue markings. Of course, there's no wonder that this works so well, because if you add a magenta shadow to a blue surface, the shadow would look purple. This might actually be more of a happy accident than something I planned when I created the colour palette, but that's okay, I'll take it. Do you have any questions about my process surrounding these images or my images in general? If so, let me know in the comment section. While I've painted a lot of big cats over the years, the cheetah often doesn't seem to make the cut. That's because if I'm painting a leopard of some kind, the cheetah looks too much like it. But for this series, I wanted to paint a cheetah because I like the spots, and I decided it was a better choice than a leopard, just for variety. I'm not gonna lie, I did attempt another cheetah painting before this one. The initial painting was of a running cheetah, but it wasn't totally successful. I felt that I didn't capture the cheetah's build correctly, nor did it do the colour palette justice. So instead I focused on a bust, which makes a lot more sense because that allowed me to incorporate the dark markings that run from the inner corner of the cheetah's eyes and down to the corner of their mouths. And that's a marking that really sets them apart from all the other big cats out there. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my YouTube channel for more process videos, and for more of my work, visit my social media accounts.